All right, we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the week 5 power rankings. Let's go ahead and recap this past week's scoreboard. After a lot of shit talking on the six pack, the battle of the brothers ends with the superior Murphy brother taking home the blood is thicker than water trophy. Um, Ryan Taylor says that I'm an idiot. Glad to see you here, Ryan. In California, actually, this would have taken place in the Bear Boobs stadium. The Bear Boobs able to take care of the Cali Pigs, who then moved to 0-4. The Shadow Troop put up an astounding 93 points against the St. Louis Looters, who dropped 145. The Huntsville Hitmen in the other battle of the brothers, the Tennessee Colonels putting an absolute whomping on the Huntsville Hitmen. And then the Dallas Dragons edging out the Beecher Creatures 131.7 to 124.2. Rex, your reactions to last week?
I think we had a lot of blowouts. I mean, the best matchups were ultimately you and your brother, and me and Drayden ended up being a little closer than what I expected. But everything else was just kind of a stomping by all the other teams. The Troop and the Cali Pigs not breaking 100 seems to be a regular occurrence for those, and then the Huntsville Hitmen having a bad week was kind of I don't know, just out of the blue. I was expecting that to be one of the better matchups, and he had a dud last week.
Yeah, I was. I guess it's never that much fun whenever most matchups are kind of already decided, especially after the first slate of games, because you don't have anything to look forward to, whether that be on like Sunday night or Monday night football. But we've got some pretty good matchups coming up here in week 5. The Bond County Coonhounds trying to get over 500. And we have a bottom of the barrel bowl here with the Clark County Crusaders and the Shadow Troop. The Huntsville Hitmen looking for a get-right game against the Cali Pigs. I think that these two matchups down here are probably the best matchup, but really I want to point to the Coonhounds and the Bear Boobs, and then these two matchups with the Looters and the Dragons and the Colonels and the Beecher Creatures, although the Creatures are dealing with quite a bit of bye week issues, and so are the Boobs at the moment. And this is where it starts to get interesting. Rex and I, we were talking about playoff implications here earlier, and as it sits, if the season ended today, we would have the 3 teams from the West making the playoffs, and then we would have the Colonels, the Creatures, and the Hitmen rounding out the rest of the playoff spots. Now, I think that it's definitely going to come down to those last few spots. With I think Sam is going to be in that fight. I think it'll be myself if Dylan can somehow figure it out. But those right now, it really looks like it's Sam and I battling for that last spot is kind of what it feels like for me. Again, unless there is some unforeseen circumstances that end up happening where a team ends up falling off and some crazy injuries, but that's what it looks like at the moment. So let's go ahead and get into the power rankings. We're going to start with the Shadow Troop. Should be surprise to no one that Parker Lutz is still number 10. He's currently starting Justin Herbert, who's on a bye. Now, granted, still plenty of time to switch this. And if he wanted to, I really hope he's still here. Oh, did he? Oh no, he still does have Bazooka Joe on his team. So he could start the third string quarterback in New England. So that is always a possibility. Yeah, this team is just bad. Like really, really bad. He has
He got worse from the last time I think you guys did a video. He traded away his best player.
yeah.
And it wasn't even like, in my opinion, it wasn't even like a great move. Like he picked up Alec Pierce and who else?
He has like
Jerome Ford.
He has like 7 Colts on his team. He has Michael Pittman, Anthony Richardson, Adonai Mitchell, Alec Pierce, and the kicker. He's all in on the horseshoe. Parker Lutz is that and Vikings players, it seems. And below average running backs. So yeah, I mean this team's just bad. And it's not even like in that great a position for a rebuild. What does he have? Okay,
He does have the 3 first-round picks next year.
He has 3 first-round picks. Okay, which is great and all, but there's still just so much work to be done here. And
this team, in my opinion, doesn't win a game all year.
I mean, we could
unless
look
it's
at
against the Cali Pigs.
He could. I've got some guys on bye next week, but yeah. Then he plays Dragon. I think that's a loss. Then he plays the Colonels. Loss. Week 9. He plays the Pigs. Watch out in week 9. This could be a good one. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't get better for him ever because he's not ever going to be favored in a matchup. Yeah, I mean he's got his team is so bad that in week 11 he's starting 10 guys and he's still projected less than Michael with 8 guys. That's brutal. All right, anyways, let's move on to number 9. This team also not in great shape at the moment. The Cali Pigs. Murph, can we love each other or nah? Let me know. XOXO. We can still love each other. I hope you still love me after putting you at 9. It seems that Ryan, this year at least, has not been able to pull something out of his ass. And I think we can officially put that to bed. I don't think his team is like necessarily terrible. They're just not performing crazy. I think that this is a team that could absolutely end up scoring like 120, 130 in a week and catch somebody on a bad week and get a win. I think that's the stark difference between the Cali Pigs and the Shadow Troop is they have that like sneaky sleeper potential that could just like give you a loss when you're not expecting one. I mean, he gave me a pretty good run in week 2. So that's just kind of where Ryan's at the moment. Rex, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, this team is not going to be a gatekeeper by any means, but they definitely could pop off of a 120 or a 130 and catch somebody on a bad week. I agree with that. I don't think that this team has.
I think they more play spoiler than gatekeeper.
Yeah, they're like a MAC team going up against like a Big Ten school. Like there might be a chance that they win, like a good MAC team going up against like a Big Ten or SEC school. They're probably going to get dominated by 30, but they might keep it close. Put a little sweat on your brow.
Yeah, it's like Northern Illinois and Notre Dame.
Right.
I think that's exactly the role that Ryan's playing this year. I think he ends the year with maybe like 2 wins, and that could have massive implications on the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, let's move on to number 8. the Clark County Crusaders. Now, again, team is not terrible, and it's a team you don't want to lose to. I think the Clark County Crusaders and the Cali Pigs are very much the same team in that regard. Now, they got significantly better adding Alvin Kamara. But the boom potential is not necessarily there. I think they have a higher floor, obviously, than the Pigs.
Is he starting 2 tight ends? Oh God.
Yes, he is.
Isn't that Strat 0-4 in this league?
Yeah, but I guess in his defense, he should absolutely start Tyler Lockett or Dontavian Wicks or Cortland Sutton. Yeah.
Or Zach Charbonnet over George Kittle.
Yeah.
I'm not a George Kittle fan. I don't think you are either, but
I am a George Kittle fan, not in fantasy.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
I do think that this team though has
he has put up some good weeks though.
I think that this team though has an outside chance of making the playoffs. I wouldn't say it's impossible. I mean, you look at Brock Purdy, you look at Najee Kamara. His wide receivers aren't great, but he's in the same role that he was a couple of years ago. He's in the gatekeeper role with
absolutely
a possibility. I honestly could see him still sneaking in. It's early, but he's gonna need to at least get to probably 500 or close to it.
There's a path. It's just not. It's not like the path isn't the prettiest
Right.
going forward.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and move to number 7, the Bond County Coonhounds. Getting a win last week was absolutely crucial for the Coonhounds. Probably avoided a fire sale. And I wouldn't say that's still out of possibility, but team is getting at least a little bit healthier. Still dealing with some injuries at the moment. Mainly Pacheco is the biggest ding to this lineup. But I think adding Singletary was huge. Kenneth Walker coming back last week. I like it, especially as long as the Bucks continue to play well, man. Watch out.
Yeah, I think that this team with a good, healthy Ken Walker running like he did last week is scary. And without Rashee Rice on the Chiefs, I think Travis Kelce is probably the tight end 1, tight end 2 in fantasy. And if Baker and them still are going to go with some type of pass-heavy attack going to Godwin and Evans, I mean, yeah, they're kind of going to eat away at each other. I mean, there's only so many mouths to feed in that offense. But, I mean, those two guys, I mean, they can both catch a touchdown and both go for 60 to 100 yards. I mean, it's very possible.
Yeah, I did some soul searching whenever I decided to do the double with Godwin and Evans. I figured if Godwin or Evans gets 8 to 9 points, then the other most likely has anywhere from like 15 to 18 points.
Yeah. The only guy I'm actually concerned about in your starting lineup is DJ Moore.
Yeah, but he finally found his first touchdown connection last week. So, and he finally got
offense looks bad though.
He finally got looked at, and his target share is still up there. He's on the field for over 90% of the snaps.
Yeah, I mean he's fine, but man, that offense right now doesn't look very good. I mean, it definitely is going to probably get better as the year goes on, but he has been kind of concerning.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially for how much money I'm paying him. All right, let's move on to number 6. Bear Boobs. This team is solid. I don't personally. I don't know why I don't like the team, but then when you get into it a little bit more, it just continues to get better and better. Dak Prescott, fantastic fantasy quarterback. Derrick Henry has been great. Um, Joe Mixon, always going to be near the goal line. Mac Wilson is his replacement this week. Stephon Diggs, he's been solid. Evan Ingram, I don't think he's been terrible. Oh no, he has been bad.
He hasn't played.
He hasn't played. I don't know who I'm thinking of. That Evan Ingram reminds me of. Finally decided to take Chase Brown off the practice squad. Gabe Davis. Yikes. Okay, now I see why I don't love the team.
But he has better guys on his bench, in my opinion, if I remember right.
Yes.
Like he has. He's got
David Montgomery's on a bye. AJ Brown's on a bye. Williams is on a bye. Hopkins is on a bye. Goddard's on a bye. Yeah, he's dealing with a ton of bye weeks.
This is a tough week for Sam.
This is a tough week for Sam.
Which is why his team looks like it does this week, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Maybe that's why I currently have him at 6, but I think this 4, 5, 6 ranking is so tough. Which, speaking of, I guess we can go ahead and get into number 5, which we have the Beecher Creatures currently sitting at 2 and 2. Bijan Robinson continues to improve. James Cook has been solid. JSN has also been solid. Outside of the, he's still seeing a ton of snaps. He's seen a ton of targets in 2 of the games. I just don't know what happened against Miami in terms of target share.
Weren't they up on Miami big?
That could have been it. Drake London, I am still out on. I know
he's looked fine. I wasn't like, he was kind of my wild card. He was honestly like my 3rd wide receiver going into the year because of Puka. I'm happy with him right now. I mean, yeah, he's like a bottom of the barrel. Yeah, Bijan has been struggling. He also had a 30-yard touchdown called back last week.
But I would also say that his usage was less last week considerably compared to the other weeks.
Yeah, he's been dealing with I think a shoulder injury.
Yeah, but I think it's pretty obvious who the most explosive running back is in Atlanta. And I think in terms of Bijan being in a good situation to put up fantasy points, I think it's pretty obvious why he's an effective fantasy running back.
Yeah.
Trey McBride may still be seeing stars after last week. So not sure how that's going to go. Jonathan Taylor.
He's been good.
He's been good. Zay Flowers, very script dependent, we found out.
Yeah. I'm ready for Puka to come back.
Because Justice Hill took all of the receiving duties last week with 18.6 points.
He wouldn't be starting this week if I didn't have so many buys.
Yeah, you also have some pretty big buys. Yeah. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff, and Jalen Hurts are going to be – it's going to be tough. All right. Let's get to number 4. And I think a lot of people disagree. Rex, I think you even also disagree. Maybe not with where they're at. You just don't think the team is good. The St. Louis Looters.
This team, he does it every freaking year. It's literally cat food on a plate, and he just continues to somehow turn it into a 5-star meal. I don't know how. This team is not good. You're starting Terry McLaurin.
I mean, he
I
scored
mean, give me
18
a break.
14.
He had 6 targets and he went for 18 points. He caught 2 touchdowns.
Torbeck says, I am the smartest GM alive. Rex is just a hater.
No, this team sucks. If it could seriously just, I don't know. I think he's the greatest I honestly think that he's the greatest GM I've ever seen because there's no way I don't get it. I don't understand it. This team continues to win, and I don't know how.
I think that Torbeck has compiled a team that has quite a few really good situations that the players are in, and they have performed at or above projections consistently. It doesn't make sense, but it's worked.
Look at his quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes has been bad. Geno Smith has been actually he might have been decent. I think he had a good week last week.
I can sum it up. I know ball. Rex does not. That's why it doesn't make sense.
I know ball. This is not good ball. These are a bunch of fucking just they're literally like guys that have been on the practice squad at one point in their career that are just randomly performing.
I don't know. Zach Moss is good. Ramondre Stevenson had a very weird week whenever he played against me.
He put up a .3 dud as a starting running back. Trevor Lawrence, ass.
Geno Smith?
He's had a couple good weeks, if I remember right.
Okay. DeAndre Swift had a very good week last week.
One good week. He's looked like dick and balls most of the year.
Dalton Kincaid, he's in a very good situation. DK Metcalf is very boomer bust, if I remember correct. Well, he had a bust.
Decent. He has been better. I still don't like DK.
You love DK?
I don't.
You don't?
Mainly because he has Geno Smith throwing him the ball.
But Geno Smith also good.
Yeah, he threw for 4. He's been better than Patrick Mahomes.
Rex, is it because
I just hate this team, dude. It's Kyren Williams and Jordan Mason on top of Terry McLaurin. Like those 3 right there just like eat a hole in my soul that they can score points.
Okay, Rex, safe space here. I think that this is like your dream of a team.
No.
Now, hear me out. Safe space. It's because it's just so fucking weird how it works and the way that he's compiled the team.
And you're saying this is basically how I've been trying to run my organization, and this is somehow he's put lesser players in it and has performed better. I don't know how. He did this last year.
It's sleeper after sleeper.
Yeah, and it doesn't work forever. I don't know how it has continued to work.
3-1.
It doesn't work forever, is all I'm saying. Like, eventually, this has to come to fruition.
And your response? All right, let's move on to number 3. We've got the Tennessee Colonels here at number 3. This team is very good. He hasn't even taken Brian Thomas Jr. off of his practice squad yet. We could see that change with the injury to Rashee Rice, or if any other injuries end up coming to bite him in the ass. This team is also still solid.
I want to say something.
What's up?
I seriously think Chase has a man crush on Chigakonkwo?
He's got to because
he's been on his team for like 2 years. He refuses to drop this big motherfucker who has caught like 2 touchdowns in 3 years.
yeah, it's interesting. He just loves tight ends with weird names. Because he also has David Njoku, who hasn't played the last 3 weeks.
I just think he likes BBC.
Oh, big if true.
Very big.
Very big. The Tyreek Hill situation is very interesting here because Miami looks awful without Tua, and I don't see Tua returning soon. If at all.
No.
So, but I feel like that could have been his league winner. We'll see if he continues to, but I think with the amount of targets that Rashee Rice was getting, man, I think that we could see a very big down week here from the Colonels.
Yeah, I think his ceiling got capped a little bit with the Tua injury and the Rice injury. And Tua's not even on his team, and Tua is on his team. But
yeah, Tua is.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. I mean, he had the depth to withstand some of that stuff, and his rookies have looked good. So he's in a good spot. He's losing a lot of money sitting on the bench and hurt.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the Huntsville Hitmen. They're number 2. This team is very, very solid. Even with the Tua injury, Achane, he has not performed the last 2 weeks compared to what he did before, but they're going to have to lean on him. And so I don't think that you can really take him out of the lineup just because of his potential production. CeeDee Lamb is incredible. Neighbors is that dude. Yeah, I mean, this team is also very deep and very, very solid. But the problem is that you have Dragon as the number 1 team, and right now he looks like an absolute juggernaut.
Mm-hmm.
This team is solid. This team continues to perform. Kyler Murray looks like, now granted, Call of Duty hasn't come out yet, and Double XP weekend will be upon us at some point, so we will see if that changes anything. Garrett Wilson, I think, is really the only question mark here.
Jaden Daniels has been a dog.
Absolute dog.
It makes like him having to depend on Deshaun Watson like not a thing anymore.
Yeah. Saquon Barkley has also been incredible. Jahmyr Gibbs has also been incredible. I mean, this team is solid up and down. He's dealing with some bye week stuff this week. So if he ends up taking out the Looters this week, even with those big buys that he's facing this week, man, I don't know if Dragon loses. I mean, obviously he could get caught like on just a weird slump of a week, but this team is built for the long run, and I think you can easily pencil him in for a playoff push.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, 6 wins got you in last year, so we're not far from it for him already.
Yeah. All right, Rex, let's make some predictions this week. We've got the Bond County Coonhounds and the Bear Boobs. Who you got?
I'm going to take the Coonhounds in this one. As much as I think the Boobs, I just think they have too many buys this week. I think it's a tough week for them. And he had a great week last week, so it's maybe time for a little drop off from Sam, but I think he'll be right back up there the week after.
Yeah, I like my chances this week. I'm definitely feeling a little bit better about things. We got the Clark County Crusaders and the Shadow Troop. Do I really need to ask you?
I'm taking the Crusaders. Thank
Oh, welcome in special guest Grace.
Hello.
We've got boy dinner.
Heck yeah.
The Huntsville Hitmen and the Cali Pigs. I think we're all probably taking the Huntsville Hitmen here.
Yes.
The St. Louis Looters and the Dallas Dragons. What do you got?
Dragons.
I'm going to zag here, and I think that if he's going to drop a week, it's going to be this week. And I think that's mainly just because the not having Saquon Barkley and Jahmyr Gibbs to kind of carry the load if one of these other guys doesn't necessarily perform. I think that the Looters take it this week.
Torbeck can't keep doing this. Can't keep doing it.
All right, and then the Tennessee Colonels and the Beecher Creatures. Beecher Creatures dealing with a lot of buys this week.
I'm going Colonels. I'm not confident in my team this week. I think
the Colonels definitely have a better shot at winning this week. If you end up pulling one out, though, that could be incredible, especially moving forward once you get all your guys back.
I'm very ready for Puka Nacua to come back, and I can put Zay Flowers back on my bench, except for weeks. I actually think this week Zay Flowers might actually have a good game, just because I think Cincinnati's going to be able to score. They're going to have to throw the ball a little bit. I mean, I think that's how Zay Flowers has to do, is like, it's got to be a back and forth game.
Yeah, if the Ravens are down or if it's an even game, Zay Flowers is definitely going to be one to look after. But if they're not and they just want to be a dump down merchant, Justice Hill with his how many receptions did he have last week? 6 for 78. Yeah. So, all right, that's all I got for the Week 5 Power Rankings. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in Week 6.
Trump Fans 2024.